Welcome to Bowfish 24/7 365 presented by AMS Bowfishing. If you like bowfishing for toothy critters, well, this show is just for you. We've got 4 tags and we're heading south to Florida to try our luck bowfishing for some gators on public waters. After that, Jeff Brown from AMS Bowfishing heads over to Africa and tries his luck bowfishing for African crocodiles. That's right, African crocodiles with the AMS Bowfishing Big Game equipment right here on Bowfish 24/7 365.
You know, but I love flying. Once that plane takes off, I love the feeling and seeing the ground getting smaller and smaller, and pretty soon you're above the clouds. And in a couple hours, we're descending already into a state that's, you know, several thousand miles away. And we're going bow fishing for alligators in Florida. How cool is that?
We jump on our tram to the baggage claim to get the most important part of our trip, our bows, our arrows, our big game retrievers. And then it's off to Lake Wales to get ready for our big gator trip. It's the day of our hunt here, and we're at our guide Mitch Fine's place, and we're getting our equipment checked in. Make sure nothing got bumped on the flights and the hard cases. So we're just checking to make sure that everything's properly sighted in, because a big gator only gives you one chance, and we want to make sure that we're dialed in for that. We're excited, Mitch. We're glad to be down here, and looking forward to tonight. Let's get her done. Get loaded up. You bet.
We drove down here to the public waters, and we put the airboat in. The first time Mitch said, come on, let's jump on the airboat, let's go for a ride. We were sitting in the seat and he was cruising these waters here, and we were checking out and trying to see what we had for size here on this body of water. Finally, it got dark enough to where Mitch said, okay, Matt, jump down here on the deck and get your bow ready and get ready in case we do see a big one. And we drove around. We did see a couple of 7-footers and one 8-footer that presented a shot, but it was the first night, so we just wanted to hold off and see if we could get something bigger. And boy, it really paid off. You know, the second night, we set up a game plan for where Tim, my cameraman, myself, and Mitch and Laura were going to go to a different lake. And you know, Hurricane Isaac had just come through this area 2 days before we got down here, and that specific body of water was flooded. Because the waters were so flooded, we had to use a snatch hook to get the gators in close enough for a shot with the bow. I was totally shocked when that gator came up for just a split second and we got a shot on him. And now it was time for the bang stick. This gator, man, he kept coming up vertical and we just could not get him with the bang stick. Finally, Mitch got underneath there and he got him on a bang stick. When we hoisted that thing into the boat, I was overwhelmed, and it really meant a lot to me to get a gator of that size.
The first alligator that Tiki told Mitch about was the one that was right in the canal, and he mentioned that it was actually a dangerous alligator and a nuisance alligator. The campers here, a lot of them have small dogs and pets. There are children that come to this camp. The alligator has lost its fear for humans, and I thought right away I'd love to take out an alligator that was a threat to humans.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
All you people that own that call in, this is the lady you're talking to. She just smoked a Central Florida gator.
Yep, my first gator, yep.
Awesome job, Trish.
Thanks a lot,
Awesome
Matt.
job.
Thanks for your help. Mitch gave me the line and I could feel his weight and his strength pulling against me. And that was the most exhilarating part. It's just like when you're bow fishing and you got a big fish on and you fight that fish with all your strength. Well, this is an alligator, a little bit bigger than a buffalo carp, so it was much more exciting. Look at his tail is way down there. He's bigger than I thought. After we taped him up with duct tape, and I grabbed him by the jaws and pulled him up onto the shore. And it was a done deal. It was a beautiful alligator, and I'm really glad that I could help out this community and at the same time gain some experience to help out the customers that call up to AMS Bowfishing and ask about gator hunting.
The next night, it was either Kelly or myself, and I was nervous, scared, excited.
We're gonna go out and check out this lake that we checked out a couple nights ago. We saw a few nice gators out there, and hopefully we can get on top of one and get some great video and a gator down. I'm shaking. I had to shoot.
Well over 12.
Matt couldn't get the shot. He was right here underneath the boat.
Bring that boat over here.
This thing is huge. I'm shaking right now.
After shooting my alligator, we had him by the rope, but he was pulling that little airboat all over the place. So Mitch yelled for the pontoon, our little side boat, I guess you could call it, and they came over and we actually tied the boats together. And when this alligator came to the surface, he was out away from the two boats, but he still bumped the pontoon that I was standing on, and man, did that give me a little scare.
I'm shaking like a leaf right now. This thing is incredible. Ready? I'm speechless. This is incredible. I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm speechless. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever have an opportunity at an animal of this caliber ever again. It's pretty amazing. Absolutely incredible. Tagged and ready to rock. We've been here since Wednesday last week, hunting the same body of water. We've hunted it 3 nights now, and we've heard him, we've seen sign from him, and we narrowed it down to where he's located. We went in there, found him last night, got a shot on him, come out with a 12.5-foot alligator. That's amazing.
As the hunt started, I knew I was going to be the last one to fill a tag. And all these gators coming in, there was a 7-footer coming in, a 10.5-footer, a 12.5-footer. I was scared, I was nervous. I had these goals that I just wanted to get a big one. It was kind of hard, it was a long night, and you kind of get discouraged, but I knew our guide service was going to get us on one. And sure enough, we spotted one. We knew it was kind of a large one. We weren't quite sure how large it was. My legs were shaking, my heart was beating, my adrenaline was just, it was out of control. It was the most exciting thing. I've never had my adrenaline go as much as it was that night.
He's headed our direction right now. Get kind of nervous, scared, but it's okay.
I'm nervous as heck. My heart's racing.
Hit him, Kelly. You smoked him. You hit him. Hit him, Kelly.
It was amazing. I had so much emotion. I was scared still because I wasn't quite sure if I got him, although I know he took off. My legs trembled. I couldn't even stand anymore. It was absolutely amazing. I cried and it was awesome.
He's waving, look at the wave.
Wow. And that was a great time down in Florida, chasing those gators with the bow fishing equipment. You know, and Trish shooting that nuisance gator was great for the people down there, especially the fishermen. It was bothering them a lot. Kelly shot that big gator with the crossbow. And Timmy boy, hats off to you, buddy.
You deserve a monster gator like that because you're the one that's always behind the camera filming everybody else having a good time. So way to go. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on a monster gator. Now it's time to spin the globe and head over to Africa and follow Jeff for his African croc hunt.
My good friend Dennis Redden asked me to go to Africa with him on a plains game hunt. There's no way I wasn't going. The only stipulation was I had to hunt a croc with the bow. They were a little concerned about having a float line attached directly to the crocodile, and if you pull on that crocodile, is he going to start coming after you? So it can be a frightening thing going after these crocodile, but that's the adventure of this hunt. So we booked our plains game hunt with Gelato Adventures in South Africa. We could not do the crocodile hunt in South Africa because it's not legal to shoot crocodile with a bow and arrow. So Dennis and myself stayed an extra 7 days and we drove up into Zimbabwe to do the actual crocodile hunt. We had to team up with Tim, who is a licensed professional hunter in Zimbabwe.
I've been a professional hunter for 16 years in Zimbabwe, licensed in Zimbabwe. And I've done quite a few bow hunts, but never one like this. When we arrived in camp and Jeff pulled out this bow with this oversized float item attached to the front of it and all these strings hanging everywhere, I thought, I don't know about this movie. I don't know, I didn't put too much hope in it. I thought, well, we'll give it our best, but I don't know if this is going to work.
The plan was to use a Big Game Retriever Pro with a float system on the bow. Once I shoot the croc with the breakaway arrow, the croc is going to run and is going to pull the shaft from the point, leaving the point inside the croc. And that point is going to be attached directly to the float so that we're able to track the croc after we hit it.
Croc with a bow, you can do it, and so on. And then he comes up with this his float system idea. He wants to shoot it with a float system of AMS Bowfishing. And so I said, yeah, okay, that might be a different story.
We got a couple nice croc in. There was, and at least 4 of them were good shooters, probably 11 to 12 foot. There's a couple swimming around out there yet. And the plan is we're gonna build this little natural blind here today, get it nice and concealed so we can come in around the back side here at the trail we come in on. Come in, sneak in real quiet. Gonna throw some bait out here about 12 yards away. And hopefully they'll come right up this bank, give me a nice broadside shot. We'll get that float in him and then see where he goes and get him out. So bait set. Just wait for him to come in now.
Hunting croc with a bow with a float, it's something that's not really been done before. I know they do it all the time on alligator, but in Africa it's a little bit different story. Crocs and so on is much more aggressive, and sometimes I know you guys shoot from boats mainly. Over here sometimes you can't get boats into where big crocs are, and it's going to be a totally different experience for me. I've never done it before. I know a lot of other guys haven't done it before.
Came close today, but there's big ones floating around there, and the only ones that came close were little ones. Gonna try again tomorrow. We saw right across the bank where they had been laying on the rock and on the bank on the previous 2 days, so we said, let's get this pop-up blind, let's get around to that side of the river and set up on that rock. And that alone wasn't an easy feat because there wasn't any trails on the other side of the river. And we had to walk way upriver to get where we could jump across on the rocks, and then we even had to get in the kayak to get out to the rock. We got into that blind, set up on that rock. The day before there was 4 crocs laying on that same rock. Not only did we want to put a float on this croc, but to tone down his aggressive nature, we wanted to hit him in the vital areas. They have a fairly big vital area to shoot at. However, when you're shooting an arrow with 400-pound line on, with the float system on, your accuracy at long distances gets a little shaky. So we still needed to get this croc within 15 yards to get a real accurate shot on him and get it into the vitals. blind and we were watching this 8-foot croc for 40 to 60 minutes, and I was getting pretty anxious because you can't shoot anything that's under 9 foot in Zimbabwe. It has to be an over a 9-foot croc. So when Tim said there's another one coming down river, I was getting pretty pumped and excited to see how big this thing was going to be. The purpose of using the Big Game float system is so that you're able to track the croc after he's hit. If you're not able to track that croc, he gets in the water and you lose him. You basically lost your game that you're after.
Wow, that is some impressive footage of Jeff Big Game bow fishing over in Africa for his crocodile. You know, it's not every day you get to sit in a blind 15 yards away from big crocs coming up the river, crawling out of the water, getting onto those rocks and sunbathing themselves. That is some cool stuff. So stay tuned, because after these commercial breaks, the final conclusion of Jeff's croc hunt. Welcome back to the exciting conclusion of Bowfish 24/7, 365 crocodile bow fishing. So we've got Jeff in the blind. He's 15 yards from the rock, and here comes a big crocodile swimming upriver to join the other one. Well, let's see if Jeff's nerves are made out of steel as he prepares for a shot on this exciting bow fishing adventure.
Got him tagged, Gus. We got him tagged.
I got a pretty good shot on him, we think. You can see the float over there. There's a little channel there. It doesn't go anywhere, but we're waiting him out a little bit. Got some guys going around and trying to chase him back out in this hole so we can get on him. Beautiful animal. Beautiful, big animal. The goal after the float was to get another broadhead arrow into this croc. That proved to be much harder because of the long times that it stayed underwater. None of us really wanted to pull too hard on that line because we never knew how good that point was holding in the croc. But we did get a couple shots on him. I did get one good shot on him. Before we pulled him out of the water, we had him worn down pretty good after chasing him up and down the river for 6 hours that day. He's got to be dead. He's got to be dead. Just saw a bunch of bubbles come up for several minutes. The float hasn't moved for a long time. I don't remember when we last saw him up above, but it's got to be close to an hour or more. He looks like he's done. We switched positions this morning, and this one came in, hit him right in the perfect spot with the reel and put a float on him. Hit him in the lung, vital area right here, and that float was in him for good. What a beaut. He's about 11 feet long. Awesome, just incredible, incredible hunt.
It's a good system. I promise you, I didn't think it was going to work, but it did its job.
The float system really works, and it is, I would definitely recommend it for hunting croc.
Wow, that was simply amazing. You know, I've never seen footage like that before, ever, on a crocodile hunt. You know, we had the camera inside the blind, we had a camera across the river, and Jeff, the shot you made on that crocodile, simply outstanding. The shot was 100% true. The AMS Big Game equipment worked awesome. Great job on an outstanding trophy of a lifetime crocodile. From all of us at Bowfish 24/7, 365, we hope you enjoyed this week's show, and we'll see you on the water.